Hi, bitch. How you doing?
Oh, I'm in the middle of a mental breakdown, but that's fine.
Oh, shit. Really?
No, okay, no, not entirely, but I kind of got, what do you call it? An epiphany? Is that what you call it?
Yeah.
Where I was staring at myself in the mirror in the bathroom.
Oh, no.
As you do.
Oh, no.
I had just finished the math assignment from last week.
Oh, no.
And I saw on my phone that it popped up this week's assignment.
Oh, no.
And this was like 20 minutes before we were going to start this podcast.
No.
And I kind of looked at myself and I was like, I know that face. You're fucking stressed out.
Oh my gosh, bitch.
And I kind of, because the last few days I've been like, I haven't been sad, I haven't been like crying, I haven't been like stressed out visibly, but I've been
screaming internally.
Kind of, but I haven't been hearing it myself. It sounds so strange, but I have been like, I haven't been working out, I haven't been outside much, I haven't been eating well, I have been sleeping very much, and I don't, even though I'm not tired, I don't go up from bed, you know, the typical, like, you're kind of stressed out, you need to chill. But now when I looked in the mirror, I noticed it, and I was like, oh yeah, that's why. I'm stressed, like,
but
okay.
that's very healthy. I'm just gonna tell you that it's very healthy that you can tell, that you can see that in your eye and like stop it, because when you reach that point where you can't see that, that's when you reach the point I did when I got sick, where you pushed the threshold and you fell over it pretty much. So exactly. as long as you can tell and like adapt, that's the healthy thing, because sometimes you just get stressed and shit happens.
And that's like a very normal thing for you to happen in life. It's not like, it's very normal. Everyone gets stressed,
of course,
but it's just I didn't notice it until today. And then I was like, oh right, I don't, like, this is gonna sound so weird, but when I feel great, I clean a lot.
Yeah, you do,
because I know that I feel better if my surroundings are like clean. If there's not, and then I mean, like, I don't go around and like roughly clean everything all the time.
No.
But I
but it's like a part of your routine.
Yeah. Exactly. So I have like this, I just pick up things while I'm at it, and I go out with the trash, like you usually do, like stuff like that, and nothing crazy, but I like to keep it clean. And I haven't been doing that either, so I was like, oh right, I haven't been cleaning for like 2 weeks.
Wait, are you seeing the world through my eyes right now? What's happening? Wait, are you tasting that depression?
And I was like, oh yeah, I know this feeling, because I've had it before, and I recognized it then too. So at this point, I know, like, okay, you know what? I just need to
take a step back
and breathe and know that I'm stressed.
Yeah.
And start to plan things up a bit, because otherwise I will keep sleeping in, and I will like just not work out, I will not eat well. So today I tried to get up a little bit early, but since I realized my stressness, I will try to get a bit earlier tomorrow, and I will eat a little bit better today, and I will try to fit in a workout. I put on makeup, which I haven't been cute, which I haven't been doing in a few days either. So
you look cute.
Thank you. You look cute too.
No, I don't.
You do though.
I look like shit.
No, you're overreacting.
2 shits and a pie.
You have the most cute little bun on top of your head, and you have this nice skin. Like, it looks great from here.
You know what? My skin is fucking good.
Yeah, it looks great.
I've got good genetics for my skin, and I do take care of that bitch, so.
Yeah. And you can tell. Your skin is great.
Thank you, bitch.
But so, yeah. I've been a bit stressed, but I realized it. I'm gonna take care of it, and I'll be better in a few days. So how are you?
I'm tired.
You're tired.
Well, no, but I'm glad that you're taking care of yourself and that you're realizing the signs. And it is very natural to be stressed and have a little bit of a breakdown now and then. And as long as you recognize the signs, don't let it get overboard. I know what it's like to go overboard. It is rough. You need to take care of yourself. And that is not just a note for you, but for our listeners as well, that mental health is very, very important, my friends. Take care of yourselves.
It's so important. And it's so important to talk about it,
normalize
it, and just be like, it happens. Yeah. You're not great all the time. Just remember to take care of yourselves.
Well, mental health wise, I'm doing quite well these days. We're not going to get into it too deep because that is a very long story, but I am doing quite well these days, and I am a little bit stressed about school because as I've mentioned to you and on the podcast, I'm having a rough relationship with university right now, and I'm having an exam that I have to do over. I knew that I had to do it over, but now I'm feeling stressed about it because I'm kind of
because it's an exam.
Yeah, it is an exam, and it's in a subject where I'm like, what? Like, it's like cultural economics, and it is like a whole, you need to like know structures and shit, and it's a whole ordeal, and I wasn't a big fan of the teacher that we had. We weren't vibing, so I'm just having a little rough time with the whole thing, but otherwise I'm doing good. I am very tired today though, which I mentioned to you before we started. We've had quite some progress with our other cat Soma this night. He has been very active and was very curious about us, and I tried to meet him halfway a little bit, so that means that I've been up for a few hours during the middle of the night. Went to bed very late last night too, because I actually put in an extra stream yesterday, which I now added to my schedule. So now I am actually streaming Sundays as well. But so that means that I went to bed a little bit later than I should have last night.
Did you have an early class too?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, not like crazy early, but I did get up at like 8:30.
Okay.
So I mean, I went to bed at I actually went to bed at like 11, but then TikTok happens, and then it was 1 a.m. And
that's usually how it is.
And then I was woken up by the cats at like 4:30. Went back to bed at like 5:30, and then I got out of bed at like 9:30. So I've had like that gap. So that's what messed me up a little bit. But I did take an hour nap, and I'm feeling like I am waking up a little bit. It's helping that I'm having a human conversation. I'm starting to feel more human by the minute.
Like when you can take off that I'm not a robot. You can't do that just yet.
I can't do that.
No, not yet. You're not entirely human yet.
But yeah, so I'm doing good, but I'm just tired and stuff. And I can tie that into with today's Prattle Potion too. Because I'm drinking my off-brand energy drink.
You're drinking the energy drink now?
Telling you I'm fucking tired.
Oh god, okay, yeah. Then you're tired. Waking up from a nap grabs energy drink.
Yes, I'm very sleepy.
You're saving up some energy for something.
What is that supposed to mean?
I don't know. You're just gathering up a lot of energy.
Yeah, I'm like catching up. I'm sleepy. Did you not just hear that I was sleepy?
You know, we're the opposites there. I sleep too much.
Yeah. We're still in that. We're still vibing with that you're sleeping too much and I'm sleeping too little. But yeah, I'm having my off-brand energy drink. It is a Monster wannabe. Kind of tastes a bit like Monster, not exactly, but
it's the one you've had on the streams as well.
Yeah,
right?
Kong Strong. Such an ugly name.
Kong Strong.
It's Lidl's own brand. And it only costs like 7 krona.
I see. Well,
not
it's
sponsored
better.
by Kongstrong.
Oh, God. Would accept it, though. You would.
Yes, 100%. Kongstrong, sponsor me.
But I feel like that energy drink is better than the one we usually buy at when we go to Gekos. You know? Oh, I forgot about it. My brain
Do you mean the fucking horse energy thing that my husband buys?
Fuel.
It's like 5 krona and there's a horse on it and it just says fuel and it's like half a liter and it's just like poison. I'm like, what the hell?
Oh God,
gosh.
That's fuel. And it's like pitch black as well. It really does look like gasoline.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. So what's your Prattle Potion of today, Beb?
Well, my Prattle Potion is something I enjoy a lot. And I want to say thank you, my family. I don't know what's happening.
Oh no. It's one of those weird days.
Yeah, it is.
So is it coffee or is it...
It's juice.
Water? It's juice?
It's juice. It's Brämhults. It's a Swedish brand.
Orange carrot. What was it? Orange carrot.
Ginger and chili.
Oh shit!
So it's
she
like a
out
bit
here
strong.
working with that like vitamin C stuff.
Yeah, you know it. I try.
You know it.
But then the sad thing is, I brushed my teeth.
There's a sad thing.
Yeah, I brushed my teeth not too long ago, and now I can't drink it because juice and like
jizz. I can't get over how you say juice.
Jizz.
You keep saying jizz. Guess the jizz.
No.
I'm just having jizz.
It sounds so inappropriate. I'm sorry.
You make it sound just like you're
Jizz.
just like stupid.
Jizz.
Like blonde. You see my jizz? Oh my gosh.
How would you like me to say it? Juice?
Yeah, juice.
Juice.
You can't continue saying jizz, but I'm just saying it's beautiful.
Okay, yeah, everyone listening, it's one of those episodes.
Yeah, it's one of those days. Buckle in, bitches. We're going on a bumpy bitch ride. Bitch ride?
Get in.
Sure.
Bitch ride. Sure. I was like, okay, I need to talk about how I'm feeling for a bit. But I also feel like we should mention something that we just added to our community. Our little cute community. We can't just brush that over.
Hello.
Guys, we have a Discord channel.
Yes, we have a Discord.
We have a Discord channel. And it's like, it consists of our Prattle Potion and our streaming. Like, we combined everything into one server so that it's not like mixed up and in different servers. We do a lot of things together anyway.
Yes.
So like, why not?
It's pretty much, you can share memes, have a just random talk. You can listen to music suggestions, all of that stuff. You can also discuss more specific things when it comes to our both like different streams. We have separate corners for that. And we do have, like Hilda mentioned, a Prattle Potion corner where you can give us episode suggestions and you can discuss the episodes that you've just listened to, all of that jazz. We will link the Discord in the description below of where you're listening to this episode. It will also be linked on our YouTube like About Me section where you can find links and stuff.
Exactly.
Yes.
So that's new and that's amazing. You will also find episode alert, like if we have a new episode out, that's where it will be. And stuff like that. We have everything, like we talked about this in the last episode. Was it the last episode? Everything has been growing so fast.
Yeah, it has. And we do still have some more things cooking when it comes to the podcast and stuff. So stay tuned. Everything's just one step at a time.
Very much so.
Yeah.
So please check out the Discord and know that it's still like in the works. Yeah.
We're not experts with Discord or anything, and we do have 2 moderators that helps us, and big shout out to Brad and Jim, and all the help we get from our Twitch friends and all of that jazz. It means the world, and we're just working with what we have and what we know. But if you want to join the Discord, there's a suggestion part. You may help us out with that, or if you just want to hang out or start hanging out on our Twitch, all that jazz, you're very welcome to hang out. And of course, as always, you can find us on Instagram, YouTube, and SoundCloud as well.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
So I just realized we need to add a channel suggestion part in the Discord, because I was just about to say that, like I said, it's still in the works. We would like to make the community make the Discord pretty much. Yeah. So that if you guys like to talk about a certain topic or post certain type of memes that is very specific, we would like to really tailor the Discord and the community to tailor the Discord to the community pretty much.
Yeah.
So please, if you have any suggestions that is like this is really fun to have in a Discord, or this bot is really nice to have, then feel free to drop a hint.
Or a suggestion. You're just gonna hint to it, like you guys have to guess what I want, bitches. No, but funnier, feel free to drop the suggestion. We will fix a suggestion thread for channels in the Discord as well.
Absolutely.
Is there anything else we should talk about, or should we jump into the episode, Hilda?
Well, I think that's it. Let's jump into it. So, today's episode is my episode, and I wanted to talk about gaming music, like video game music.
This is definitely your episode, since you're a musician, you have a musician's background, your family are basically all musicians. Of course, you need to do the music episode.
Well, duh. But then the fun thing is that, like I told you, I had written down a lot of information, like a lot of things, but I didn't really have a feel of what I wanted the episode to really boil down to. Like, of course, it's video game music, but like what?
Yeah, I get
you know? So
it's hard to niche down or narrow down to one thing.
Yeah.
I mean, music is a big topic.
It really is. So I'm gonna go kind of off script on a lot of things here, because
I do want to mention just one thing though.
I
think it is very interesting because you're doing an episode about music today, and I do have a class right now which is called creative processing or whatever, like the creative process. And today we actually discussed movie music and the effects of movie music, and our music teacher has been very delving into the effects and the stereotyping that goes into movie music and all of that stuff. So I think it's very interesting. Good. We're discussing gaming music when I'm just in class discussing.
That's great. That means that you can come in with a few tips or like information that you learned today, because I have not studied movie music or like video game composing music. It's just like a hobby of mine. My last assignment in school was actually to make movie kind of music, which with pop or singing influences in it. So it's I like it a lot. I am a person that can sit
your
down.
last assignment in school now, or are you talking about high school?
In high school.
Oh, do you mean your exam project?
Yeah.
The one I made a music video for?
Yeah.
That one will never see the light of day.
No. Never see the light. That will never happen. But yes, that was the music I was talking about.
That was good. I like that one.
So
like your music, not my music video.
Thank you. Very specific. Oh, but it's so meme worthy though. It should be very meme worthy. Oh my god. Okay. Hopping away from that quick as fuck. But so it's always been like a hobby of mine, like movie music and composing music. That's really, I love it, and I love how it can make you feel.
Yeah.
Because I am a person that definitely gets very emotional, or like depending on what the music is, I can get very sad or very happy or very angry or very speeded up.
You're very affected by music.
I am.
Yeah.
Are you?
Please. I cry about everything.
Okay, so we're two about that then.
So I when there's like very mighty music, I can get very like goosebumps and tears in my eyes. Like I have no problem with immersion.
Oh, great. Because I don't have a problem with that either.
Yeah.
And well, like I told you guys before when I was staring myself in the mirror, I kind of realized that this episode and my stress relief is going a little bit hand in hand, which was a little bit funny that I realized it like 30 minutes before the episode was about to record. But I realized that when I'm stressed, I don't listen to music at all. I'm like, I don't, it becomes too much for me, almost. So when I'm at work, I turn down the music in the store to the bare minimum. And when I, like, usually when I go from or to places, I have music blasting. And I usually have, like, some sort of video game music or movie music, especially if I'm traveling. But when I'm stressed, I just don't. Because it's like my brain can't handle it. It's, like, too much information. Yeah. And I realized that was like, oh, I'm not only not cleaning, I'm not listening to music. I haven't been listening to proper music for like a week. But because
I love that you mentioned proper
music.
Yeah, because
the store retail music is not. I don't count that.
Yeah,
in.
No, I was thinking about the Discord fuckery we had the other day.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, that's true. Well, no, that's not proper music. That's not proper music. That's not the music you sit down and just enjoy into, you know? No. I don't get very immersed in that kind of music.
No.
So then I started to think a little bit more about, like, what does this music actually mean to me? Okay, this is going to be a little bit of a all over the place episode.
That's
but also a little bit, what do you call it? Mopey? No.
Mopey?
Flummigt. Random.
Oh, you mean loopy?
Loopy. No, not mopey. Loopy, yeah.
Yeah.
Like I said, I get very immersed and I get very emotional to music. Like, it really hits in a place where I feel a lot of feelings. Basically, you know? You get it?
Speaking of loopy.
Loopy, you know? And I've already lost track on where I actually was going with this. But
yeah, I can tell.
Music means a lot to me. Yes. I cry or I get happy.
Yeah,
pretty much.
I mean, it's always been... So since I've known you, music has always been a very big part of you and your creative process and your creative mind and all of that. And I can definitely understand your relationship with music and that it's very important. I've never been that immersed in music. Music has never been that important to me. I love music and I love listening to it, but I also I have undiagnosed ADHD, so I enjoy having music on to like help with my mind, to like distract and quiet out the stress a little bit. It's a very useful tactic, and I also love singing, but I've never done it obviously professionally or anything, but I do it all the time.
She does.
I do. I really do.
She does all the time.
So I've never had the relationship with music that you have, but I do have also an important relationship with music in that sense.
Yeah, and I feel like a lot of people do. Like, music is very important, and especially
and personal.
It's very personal, and for a movie or a video game to have bad music or bad sound design is a big no-no. Yeah. Like, that could throw me off so bad.
100%.
Luckily, I can't think of a game that has bad, like, on top of my mind, like, this is such a bad song or this is such a bad sound design.
Yeah, no.
So what I wrote down for this for this episode was 3 different composers. Pretty much. 2 of them I'm talking about very specifically, and the last one is 3 composers, but it's one game and they're working on it together.
All right.
But then I realized as well when I was reading it again, I was like, okay, these are the 3 I listen to most when it comes to like really good video game music.
Yeah.
Mostly, at least nowadays. There are a lot of others I listen to a lot. I listen to Hans Zimmer when it comes to movie music, stuff like that, you know, the classics.
Yeah, Hans Zimmer is very...
It's just what he is,
big
you know.
name.
We could discuss him a little bit too, though, because he's a brand at this point. He's not actually he's a composer, but it's a whole thing. A whole brand behind that guy.
Yeah.
But so I would like to start off with something with a guy who's called Mick Gordon. Have you heard about him?
No.
But you've heard about Doom.
Yes, I've heard about Doom.
And I hope all of you at home have heard about Doom as well. Because Mick Gordon is the composer of the 2 latest Doom games. He did not do the first, like, I think there are 3 or 4 games before the 2 that he has done.
Yeah.
Those were made by a guy called Bobby Prince and Robert Prince, I believe. But they are very similar in the music style.
Bobby Prince and Robert Prince, is that not the same person?
No, I can't bring it up now. But I was reading a lot of the Wikipedia pages. There's a lot of different Doom games, and I was like hopping back and forth. And the first game was made by a guy called, like the music was composed by a guy called Bobby Prince. And then when I was Googling a bit more, I hopped forward a few games. I was coming to like Doom 3, I think. That was like Robert Prince. So I don't know if they are family.
Or the same person.
Or the same and they just used different names.
Yeah, because I feel like that would make sense. Either they are brothers that both are named Robert, or maybe they are son and father and they just gave the son a nickname. Who knows? But I'm like, Bobby is a nickname for Robert.
Oh,
Bob.
Is it?
Yeah, Bob. Robert, Bob.
That's true. I didn't look into it because that was not the guys I was looking into.
Yeah.
But I was like, also, naturally, I was like, oh, family? I guess. Or
so
whatever.
They might be different people, but they also might be the same person.
Because they had like different links to the names.
Yeah, but maybe, who knows?
Well, at least. There was 2, that guy,
Bobby
or
and
guys.
Yeah.
Prince guys.
Yes.
Did the music for the first 3 or 4 games. Of course, it's the same, like, it's the same hardcore metal, like death metal with industrial soundscaping and stuff like that. But it's quite different to what Mick Gordon did. Mick Gordon is he is a composer. He's made a few video game music to other video games. So he's done to Wolfenstein, if you know what that is.
I recognize it, yes.
Yeah. So that they have a lot. It's a big franchise as well. So he's done a lot of music to that franchise. And he has also done to a game called Destroy All Humans, which I'm also like... It's a game I recognize, but I haven't played myself.
Okay.
But he's, of course, at this point, mostly known for Doom 2016, which is the remastered Doom 3, and Doom Eternal that was released last year.
2020. Sorry.
2020, yeah.
Yeah, it's celebrating its first birthday now too with Animal Crossing. Yeah,
it is. And he makes the same like fast-paced metal music that is heavily mixed with electronica and industrial sounds, which fits the Doom franchise, like gory and high-intensity gameplay, like chef's kiss. Like it's exactly what the game needs. But he really like took the last game's music and like upped it 300%. Yeah. So when they released Doom, like Doom 2016, it became like viral. It was such a huge thing. Everyone was like, "Oh my God, this guy Mick Gordon is a god. He's amazing." And he kind of
I just want to make a real fast note.
Yeah.
That the composer names and said games, we will mention them in the description if you would like to Google or search for that music if you want to hear what we're talking about.
Absolutely.
The composer and the games mentioned will be in the description.
Yes. I will also, in the end of every composer, I will mention a few songs that I think you should check out. Nice. Songs or albums.
And they will also be in the description.
Yes. So yeah, he got really after Doom 2016, everyone was like, damn, this dude is crazy. Damn, who it is. And he was he did a lot of very creative things. Like, for example, for the Doom soundtrack, he did have a choir. He put together his own choir for the entire soundtrack that consisted of heavy metal singers.
Ooh, and that is cool.
If you ever take your time and listen through the soundtrack of the Doom Eternal, at least, you can hear sometimes there is this very heavy growling and scream choir of men just growling in a choir, and that's
very interesting. I don't think I've ever heard of anyone doing it.
No, I know, right?
So that's cool.
And it's so you get chills, and it's just, if you like that sort of music, I mean, it's very specific, death metal thing. It's very fast paced, and if you're not into that, we'll have another composer for you down below. But
even if you don't appreciate that music in a way where you would listen to it, I believe that one could still appreciate it in a sense of this being amazing gaming music, even though it's not your favorite genre.
Of course, because he produces it and he masters it. He's so good at everything he does, and he does mostly everything himself. And it's really, really good. He's such a perfectionist when it comes to making the music for all of his games.
Yeah.
So he's really, really good. So that's a really fun fact. I feel like that's something I think about when I listen to it sometimes.
That is very interesting.
I play Doom to really let off some steam. And when as soon as you get into combat, that music starts playing.
We work very differently, you and I. Because you want to let off steam by playing intense Doom and stuff. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I feel bad. I need to just play Animal Crossing.
There's two sides of a coin.
Yeah, 100%.
But so another fun thing, it's with the release of Doom Eternal that released in 2020, there was a lot of controversy surrounding the soundtrack, sadly, because the soundtrack didn't release on release day as it was supposed to do.
Oh.
Because Mick Gordon he wasn't finished. He hadn't made his deadline.
What? Wait, how does that work if it's supposed to be in the game?
Well, the game had music, but we'll get into this a bit. Yeah. Because he hadn't made his deadline, and a lot of fans were because they didn't really recognize a lot of the music in the game. Of course, it was very Doom, but there was something with the mastering and the production that was a bit off. The music nerds really were sitting there and be hey, no, this is not Mick. This is not Mick Gordon. So a lot of rumors started, and a lot of people started talking. So they finally decided to go out there, the company, the company's executive producer decided to come out and talk a little bit about it. And he said this, I have a quote from him. After listening to the 9 tracks he had delivered on time, I wrote him that I didn't think those tracks would meet the expectations of Doom or Mick fans. There was only one track with the type of heavy combat music people would expect, and most of the others were ambient in nature. Mick delivered 2 final tracks, which we incorporated, and he wished us good luck wrapping it up.
Oh, whoa! Wait, I can't believe that the executive, did you say executive producer?
Yeah.
That he nitpicked 9 of them. Really? Did you say 9?
No,
7.
Mick Gordon, he only sent in 9 tracks. on deadline. When there was supposed to be like 59.
Whoa, wait, really?
Yeah. So Mick Gordon was not making his deadline, and the company behind Doom was forced to make a backup plan.
Wow.
So they kind of like hired like the people within the company that made other game music to pretty much cut like arts and craft, design the rest.
I mean, I don't know the whole story, but I'm sorry, but that sounds like a douchebag move of Mick Gordon.
Well, that's the thing. None of us will know the entire story.
Yeah.
Because, of course, the company went out and said this, Mick said something else. I didn't really actually see him...
make a statement?
No, I haven't found, like, a clear statement from him. So I can't speak on that behalf, but as I interpreted it, it's like, it's two different, like,
There's always two sides, or actually there's always three sides to a story. It's what one person says, it's what the other person says, and then there's the truth.
Exactly. So we will never know the truth because we are not those two persons, and simply as that. Yeah. As I think it went down, my opinion, I feel like it was just a big misunderstanding. And Mick Gordon is a big perfectionist, and he didn't want to release something that he didn't feel was good enough. Yeah. Simply. That's why he was like, this 9 tracks I feel are good enough. And then he released like 2 more to them, even though he might not feel like those were actually good enough. And then he was like, good luck, have fun. And now they're on no speaking terms.
Wow.
They don't talk, they don't work together anymore, which is so sad, because if there's one more Doom game, it's not gonna be Mick. I feel like
that is interesting.
It's very interesting. So the main theme and stuff like that for the Doom Eternal soundtrack, I feel it is Mick. Like they took those ones, but like 80-70% rest of that soundtrack is just, they have just cut and glued together pieces and parts of what they feel like is Mick Gordon. So that's a fun thing to know while listening to the album.
Interesting.
Very much so. So that's a little bit of a, okay, that happened.
Touchy subject,
yeah, but I feel like it's good to know, because if you go from listening to the Doom 2016 soundtrack and then go to the Doom Eternal, there's gonna be small changes. If you like to listen to like very deep and analyze the music, you're gonna notice the changes. But on a more fun note, is that Mick Gordon is very active on YouTube, and he has free workshops where he speaks about how he made the music to Doom, how you produce music like that, how you record stuff, like how he made that industrial kind of sounds, how he made the choir, like stuff like that. So if you're very interested in that, you can head over to Mick Gordon on YouTube, and there's like a whole new world for you to explore.
Wait, that is really cool. That is an amazing resource for people that wish to get into movie music and gaming music and stuff. That is right? very cool.
Because I didn't know that. But then my brother, who is like a huge Mick Gordon fan, of course, as he loves gent and metal, I asked him like, what would be like another fun fact about Mick that you would like me to...
And to note that your brother is a musician, and he does work with like sound.
Yeah, he's a music producer.
Yes, there you go.
Yeah, and he plays a lot of metal and stuff like that. So it's right in his corner of the
area.
Yeah, exactly. So he wanted me to mention that, and I didn't know it, and it's really cool that it's free workshops, and it's just like, here, you want to know how to do the Doom soundtrack? Well, I can teach you.
There you go. Over. That's really cool. That is a really cool resource.
I know. It's so nice. Like, I understand when artists and stuff like that decide to take money for, like, workshops or...
Of course.
Stuff like that. It makes sense. It's their job. But it's always so appreciative when someone does something like this. And of course. I'm sure 100%. He has... some more like exclusive workshop that he like that you have to pay for.
I'm sure.
There's a lot of free stuff on there, so head
That's
on
cool.
over. If you're interested in that, you can do that.
That's cool.
And so for the things I would like, if you would like to listen to more Mick Gordon, of course, I want you to listen to the Doom 2016 soundtrack, like the album, especially if you're a little bit angry or you're playing like a really more hardcore game. That's a perfect soundtrack to listen to, as well as Doom Eternal. I really like Doom Eternal, the album, even though it's not entirely Mick, like it's mostly Mick, but you know. But then also a fun thing, if there is any Bring Me the Horizon fans out there, Mick Gordon actually is featured in one of their newest songs that was released in 2020.
Oh,
that is called
really?
Parasite Eve. So we will also have that in the information below if you want to go and look that up. Everything is on Spotify. So go ahead. That's also a really, really good song. And go ahead and go and listen to some hardcore metal, would you?
Would ya?
Would ya? For the next composer that I have, it's a completely different one from Mick Gordon.
Love it.
But this is one that I've loved for so long. Like from the first time I played Final Fantasy game, this has been like that really sad or beautiful composed music. This is where I go to pretty much. So I'm talking about, okay, I know I'm gonna butcher his name, but I believe you can correct me, actually. So his name is Nobuo Uematsu.
Okay.
Kind of? Yeah, where he's gonna be written down below as well. And Uematsu is a self-taught musician and composer from Japan. He started playing the piano when he was 12. His biggest fan was Elton John. It's like really cute. And he is the main composer behind the Final Fantasy games. Yeah. Which is like one of the games I grew up with when I was little.
Yes.
And he makes really, really good like piano music, and also he makes really good like typical Final Fantasy combat music.
I feel like Final Fantasy is very famous for its music, and it does strike a nostalgic chord with a lot of people listening to Final Fantasy music.
Oh yeah, it really does. Yeah. It's like this a bit. I feel like musicians really appreciate the Final Fantasy music a lot too. Because it's very like easy to listen to if you're not a musician, but it's also like if you are a musician, there's like so much more to hear.
You can hear the things behind.
It's kind of it's very complicated music, but he makes it, even though it's complicated, he makes it so relatable in other ways, which is so nice. He joined Square, it was called back then, before they became Square Enix. That is the company behind Final Fantasy and many other titles. He joined them when he was 27 in 1986. And there he met the creator behind the Final Fantasy franchise, Hironobu Sakaguchi. And the two worked together on many different titles. Most notable would be Final Fantasy, of course. After nearly 2 decades of working for Square Enix, in 2004, Uematsu left the company to start his own music production company that also included the record label Dog Ear Records. I am not very, I don't really know a lot of record labels. That is not really what I specialize in. No. But it was nice to know that he has his own record label and his own production. So it's kind of like freelancing now, that's cool. Could say. It's kind of not a small, but it's a minor company, and I think that's kind of nice. He has since composed and recorded music for many different game titles as a freelancer with his own company, but many titles are developed under the Square Enix and Sakaguchi's own studio called Mistwalker.
Okay, so it doesn't really say his name on it. It says the company name. Yeah. Is that what you mean? Yeah. Okay.
So he has been working on a lot of Final Fantasy, but there are other games I've been doing too, a lot of them being Japanese games, mostly, since there are under the Square Enix and the Sakaguchi's Mistwalker studio. It's a lot of those. And a fun fact about this guy that I found really cute, was just really nice. This guy is so wholesome, I feel like. He's so wholesome. Is that he's been in a hard rock band along with other Final Fantasy creators.
Oh.
Where he was a synth player.
Oh.
And that's just...
You love a good synth.
Yeah, and they've been playing his music from Final Fantasy live on many different occasions. That's cool. But with their own, like, rock...
spin. Oh, yeah.
versions.
That's cool.
Which I feel it's, like, so cool that this Grammy Award-winning music producer is, like, I'm in a rock band. I play synth.
That's really cool.
It's so nice. It's so wholesome. I really loved it. He does this, and then he sometimes is, or mostly is, referred to like the Beethoven of video game music.
That's cool.
It's so nice. And he
being known as the Beethoven of anything is just... You've made it, Bev. You've made it.
Yeah. And at this point, I think he's like almost in his 70s.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, they play a lot of like the Final Fantasy music live. So if you like really big, nice, orchestrated music performances that are so like, the music is very, very emotional, and there's a lot
grand,
of like...
I feel like.
Yeah, exactly. It's very grand. It's very... it's hair-raising. It's great. If you want to listen to that, I bet there's a lot of different live plays about his music that you need to experience in your lifetime, pretty much.
Cool.
I thought I'd mention a few things that he's been working on, and then I will also mention a few songs that I feel like, specific songs that I feel like you need to listen to. Because he's made a lot, of course, since he's made like all of the Final Fantasy music soundtracks and many more. But so one thing I found kind of funny, I didn't know this, he has made music for Alien 2, but only that Alien.
How interesting that he goes from like Final Fantasy to Alien.
I know.
I like that.
I was like reading through like his discography. Oh, wait.
Discography?
Discography, thank you.
That is a rough word.
It was.
Yeah.
And it was like, Final Fantasy, Alien 2. Aliens?
Oh, hello.
Alien 2?
So random.
Excuse me?
That is funny.
But so that's kind of funny, I guess.
Yeah.
He is, like I said, made music for Final Fantasy, pretty much all of them, along with a Final Fantasy movie called Advent Children. Have you seen that one?
No.
I love that movie. I've watched it so many times.
Really? I've never seen that.
Like
I didn't even know there was one.
That was like the gate into Final Fantasy for me.
Oh,
I got it from my cousin, who was like, he lived in Japan for like 2 years. He studies it, and he played a lot of the games, everything like that. So he brought home a copy of that movie and gave it to me. And I was like, what is this? I don't know. It looks cool. And then that kind of shaped my entire future.
Oh my gosh.
I love that movie. Check it out it's not too long. It's very complicated. You won't understand anything, but it's so nice. And the music is really cool.
You won't understand anything. It's complicated, but it's nice.
No, but like, it's so much lore. Because this is like not the first movie, like the first story in anything. They kind of just mush, like you just hop in.
So the movie's made for people who knows the story from the games, right?
Very much so.
Okay.
So like there's a lot of these classic characters, and I'm like, I don't know, I have no idea who these people are. Yeah. And he's also made music for the Super Smash Bros. Brawl. Which is nice to know. It's kind of the same genre in many ways, I feel like.
Yeah.
So a few songs to listen to from his side would be, and I'm gonna say them in exactly how they are listed on in Spotify, so that you can the most easiest find them. The first one is main theme of Final Fantasy. Wait. Oh my god. Roman numbers is not in my vocabulary.
What does it say?
V2.
That's 7.
7. Oh. Okay, interesting. No, but see, I've never actually learned Roman numbers.
Oh.
Never.
Well, V is 5, X is 10, and then the I is obviously 1. So what that says is that it says 5 plus 2, so that's 7.
Oh, okay.
But if there's a 1 before, that does negative. So if it's IX, that's 9.
Oh, okay. Nice. I will not remember that, but thank you for explaining it.
You're welcome.
So that's the main theme of Final Fantasy VII. Then we have Final Fantasy main theme from the live orchestra album. So it's a live take of the Final Fantasy main theme, but not the main theme from 7. Very important.
Very
another
important.
Main theme.
Gotcha.
Then we have Zanarkand, which is Final Fantasy X. What's that, 10?
10. Good girl.
I remember something. And that is one of my favorites ever. I love that song. Okay. A lot. Then we have Tifa's theme, which is also a classic. And then we have The Chase from Final Fantasy VII as well. And I just wrote in caption underneath, okay, honestly, just go to his Spotify and enjoy.
Oh, good note. Good note.
The third person, or rather the game I would like to talk about, because this game kind of stands out in a way, I feel like, in the way that they soundscaped and made the sound design. I don't have a lot written down about it. I kind of just wanted to mention it.
Yeah.
So it is The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wilds. You've played this?
No.
No.
I own the game. I own the game, and my husband has played it.
Oh, we've talked about you playing it. Not that you have, but that you should.
Sure.
I feel like we've talked about this.
Yeah.
We mentioned... Okay, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Have you played it?
Yeah.
Oh, you have? Yeah?
Yeah.
You have? Oh, I didn't know.
I have played it. It was one of the first games that I got for my Switch, actually.
Okay, makes sense.
So it was the only game I could play.
Gotcha.
No, but it's a really good game. And if you want to buy it. It's a really good game. But...
That's how it works.
Sponsor me, Nintendo! Okay, but so... Zelda Breath of the Wilds, the main composers for that game is Manaka Kataoka, Yasuaki Iwata, and Hajime Wakai. Okay. I wanted to see if I had pronounced that okay or if it was chaos.
I'm sure it's fine.
I'm sure it's
You're
fine.
not native. You don't speak Japanese, so...
No, I certainly do not. I'm so bad at other languages. God. Anyway, Zelda is one of those games overall where mostly anyone would recognize the music, at least that are gamers, because it's so influenced in like other gaming music nowadays, taken from the first Zelda games that released in, I have not checked, but
it's a long time ago.
It's a long time ago. And when they made the sound score or the sound design for the Breath of the Wild game, they went truly all out. With, like, they heavily relied on the, of course, main theme of the Zelda original games and stuff like that. And I feel like they kind of brought it back with this game. Brought it back, you know?
Brought it back?
They brought it back. Because I haven't been playing a lot of other Zelda. I've been playing like Zelda Ocarina of Time and a few other around that area.
I played Majora's Mask.
Oh yeah, I played a little bit about that too. I feel, and that is kind of like the OG sounds that I grew up with, at least.
Yeah.
And I feel like the Breath of the Wild kind of brought that feel back, like that Zelda feel when it came to music.
Yeah.
Because they mix the classic tunes and themes with new modern way of soundscaping. And because this, I feel like I haven't thought about this while playing the game, but it must have left a real, like, I can't explain it, but they've really made it like, for example, if you wear heavy armor and walk through a field of grass, the music is gonna change, and it's gonna sound a little bit heavier, a little bit more clunky, a little bit more industrial, perhaps, if you were heavy.
They adapt the music after that. Yes. Because I've heard about the work they did on Breath of the Wild. I don't know why I've heard about this, but
it's very talked about.
Yeah, honestly. because it was so like they recorded different like sounds for if you were running in the grass with heavy armor or light armor, or if it like they adapted everything according to the character and the environment and everything. I did not know that they did that with the music as well.
They've incorporated the two very heavily.
That's crazy. That's revolutionary.
I know, right? I feel like why hasn't more games been doing that so heavily like they have? Of course, they have a huge budget, so they are able to do it on a much larger scale.
Yeah.
But like you said, like if you walk through the same grass field, but with light armor, it's going to sound completely different. It's going to be sounding more lighter and feathery and be more like uplifting because you're so light, you know?
That's crazy.
And that's so amazing.
Yeah.
The music reflects everything you do in the game, from what you wear, where you are, how you do things, and the way you enter and exit combat as well. So it's like there have been paying a lot of attention to small details on like how will the music be sounding if you enter combat and then fight and then exit combat. It's not just going to be like music starts, music stops, new music starts. It's very like incorporated in each other.
That is like very cool.
It's so much work behind that.
That is such attention to detail, and I feel like speaking of anything, but when there is such attention to detail and perfectionism, that it does a lot, and it can really tell. You can really tell when they pour their heart and soul into a project, and really change the game.
Oh yeah.
So that's very cool.
That game overall, it's crazy how much attention to detail it has in gameplay as well.
Yeah.
It depends so much on what you're wearing. For heavy armor, how much stamina you have, or vice versa. If you have light armor, you might have more stamina. It's just like how you drop in the water. Like it's so many small things that makes such great gameplay.
Yeah.
They recorded 10,000 different sounds for the game.
Wow.
That you mentioned, like with different footsteps they walked on, varying from footsteps on grass, ice, stone, sand. So they took every material they found and they stepped on it.
Yeah, much. And I think they also, I think someone talked about that they actually switched it up as well, like not just heavy armor and stuff like that, but also with with no shoes or anything on as well, the barefoot sound, like all that. It's crazy.
It's so crazy. I have a small quote from one of the producers on how it was like working with and doing that. I mixed various kinds of sand to get good footsteps,
Wow.
We search for a combination of materials and how to apply them for the sound of the equipment. Iceboard melts and crack each time they walk, and they have to be replaced. The studio is full of stinky smells as you continue stepping on the grass, and there was various hardships, of course, as it is. And also the music is fully orchestrated with live performing instruments, making it sound like you're actually listening to a live orchestra playing music for you as you play the game.
Wow.
And that's crazy.
That is very cool.
It's so cool. So cool. So that's pretty much what I have for that one. I just want you guys to go and listen to this Breath of the Wild soundtrack, pretty much. Just do it, you know?
And not just maybe just to take the time to appreciate too that, like, try to find also like in-game audio, like watch someone play it and really appreciate the footsteps and the nature and everything like that.
Play it yourself and actually think about the sounds and the music, because it's amazing. There is also a lot of people talking about this on YouTube or stuff like that. They actually play the game and they talk about the sound and the music, what happens, how it changes depending on what you do. If you want to check that out too.
That's very cool.
Yeah, it's so cool. I had to mention it because it's revolutionary almost.
100%.
Then for the last one, I didn't really have the time to put together a lot, but I felt like we had to add this guy because he made the music for the Elder Scrolls franchise. And we love the Elder Scrolls music.
Is it Jeremy?
Jeremy Soule?
It's Jeremy.
It's Jeremy. But like I said, I didn't have really much time to gather as much information as I would like to, because he has done so much.
Busy boy.
He's done movies, he's done series, he's done a ton of games.
Wow, really?
He's everywhere. And I decided to just gather a few titles just to show how diverse he is in his music making. So he's made music for Metal Gear Solid, Warhammer, Guild Wars, Star Wars, Bounty Hunter, so I guess just that game, Baldur's Gate, the Elder Scrolls franchise, of course, Harry Potter games like the Philosopher's Stone. He made music for that. And girl, he made music for Freddy fucking Fish.
No!
He made music for Freddy fucking Fish.
Really? Oh my god, this is a great callback to one of our first episodes, you guys. Wow. Oh my gosh. Wait, can we just address that real quick? I think it was on Twitter. Was it Dutch or Brad? Who was it that said that Freddy Fish is actually a girl?
Yeah, we didn't know that.
I was so confused, and I actually looked it up, and it's true, and I didn't know that. Oh my gosh.
None of us knew that.
Yeah, just a side note. Oh my god, I can't believe he made the music for Freddy Fish. That is such a great callback. I can't. The
only thing is, I don't think he made the music for the game that we played. But like a game before that.
Oh, but it's still for the Freddy Fish.
But it is Freddy fucking Fish. And that was like the one that I was like,
oh my god,
I need to tell her this.
It's not like we're talking about epic music from like the Elder Scrolls franchise and Harry Potter and shit, but you know, Freddy Fish, there you go, bitch.
Fucking Fish. Apparently he made a few other like soundtracks for a lot of kids games as well. And kids shows on TV and stuff like that. But I just, that was so nice. I really liked that he made Freddy Fish music.
Amazing.
Really nice.
Truly amazing.
That's so great. And of course, Elder Scrolls Online.
Yeah.
But that's pretty much what I have on those composers. And I gave you a tiny, itty bitty homework for today.
Yes, you did.
I just wanted you to look up like good music. What do you feel like is a good video game music?
So you did give me homework, and I knew instantly what I wanted to talk about, which was the Elder Scrolls franchise.
Oh!
So listen, I feel like this is also a callback to what we've talked about before, which is when we talked about games we grew up with. Today you've mentioned Final Fantasy and stuff like that, and I believe that
it was a lot of games that I grew up with.
Yes, and
that
Zelda,
meant a lot to
and
me.
that it's like it strikes a chord, pun intended, with like your nostalgia, and it hits the nostalgia part of you, and that's also something that really makes music grand, because it hits a memory, and as we've discussed in previous episodes where we've talked about games we grew up with, you grew up with more Nintendo and more child-friendly games, whereas I grew up with Elder Scrolls and Tomb Raider and not as child-friendly games. And that's why I believe that Elder Scrolls strikes. It hits a nerve, the nostalgia nerve, if you will. Because it's
like my Final Fantasy.
Yeah, because the Morrowind game, I mentioned that in the episode with games that were important to our childhoods, that I run around there and played in the game pretty much, and that's just there's just something there, and also so I wanted to. We took a break during recording, and I had to look up the title for one specific melody that is just my favorite, and I don't know why. I don't even know if this is in Morrowind. I know it's in Skyrim, but it is I love. I don't know why I love it, but I love it.
It just really hit that.
Yeah, and it's called Secunda, Secunda. Secunda.
Okay, yeah.
And it is so magical and mysterious and mellow at the same time. And I think it's because I feel like a lot of game music that I appreciate, I understand like with Final Fantasy and stuff, it is very mighty and grand in a way, but I feel like I really resonate with gaming music, which is very fantasy, medieval, almost. Yes, very in that way, and so I really resonate with the Elder Scrolls music, and the Secunda one is a big favorite, to be honest. It kind of almost like if when I listened, I could cry. Because I just feel like it hits like...
It's just the song.
Yeah, I feel like it's just like a melody, and it's so like calm, but I feel like I could just sit down, listen to that, and just cry. I don't know why I like it. It's just so...
it's nice. It's happy tears.
Yeah, it's just so like... It hits like a soul nerve. I don't know what it is.
Well, some songs do that. Like I mentioned from the Final Fantasy, Zanarkand is one of the songs I love the most.
Yeah.
And I might have it on my wedding.
Yes, do it.
I think it's Zanarkand or it's the main theme. But both of them are really, really beautiful.
Do it.
And I want them as like my first dance.
My first dance.
My first dance. So pretty.
Also,
but I do... Yeah.
Sorry, I just wanted to touch... I feel like there's a lot of callbacks to old episodes right now, but I do want to make another callback to a previous episode.
Oh.
Which is, we talked about in our Women in Gaming episode about Yoko Shimomura. That made music for Kingdom Hearts, but also Final Fantasy. And I feel like that also is worth working in this episode as well, to check out Yoko's music and the Kingdom Hearts franchise.
Of course, it's very similar music to the Final Fantasy.
Yeah,
like when I mentioned Hans Zimmer, most of the bigger, like for Final Fantasy, Nobuo Uematsu, for example, he's such a huge name as a composer. But he's not the only composer for Final Fantasy. No. I gotta make that clear too. There are so many composers behind the big video games. Like I said, for Breath of the Wild, there's not just those 3 guys.
No, of course. There's a lot of people working
50,
with all.
60 people at least working on it.
And of course.
those names that I mentioned today are only like the main producers that I enjoy their personal work as well.
Yeah.
But that's also worth mentioning because, like you said, she has been working on Final Fantasy as well. So she was one of the great composers behind a lot of the music too.
Yeah.
Yeah. So she's also, of course, worth mentioning. We're gonna put her down along the list.
Yes.
In the descriptions, of
100%.
course. So that's pretty much what I wanted to talk about today.
Yeah, I thought it was very interesting because I feel like, so a great game is a great game. It's like there is the content and the story and everything, but just as with movies, the music does a lot of work, even though we don't know it. It's a very passive thing, because I can touch on what we're talking about in school right now. As I mentioned at the beginning, we're talking about creative processes, or creative process, something, whatever. I don't know how to. Yeah, well, processing sounds weird, but the creative process is pretty much what we're talking about, and how music in movies are very based around stereotypes these days, because the brain reacts to something like, oh, I know what this is, so that makes it possible for you as a movie producer to shorten down the scene or the actual visuals, because you can relay a message through audio. We were actually touching on actually more serious subjects like racial stereotypes, where like you play a very like clingy sound for if it's like China or something, but that's very just based in like racial stereotyping. Because I mean, if I say China, you know what melody I'm thinking of. So which like
is crazy.
That's the thing. Like it's very based like that, and I feel like video games is just so much like that too, because I mean the sound and the music is so important, because you know, slashing sounds, and we were talking about Breath of the Wild, how that's kind of a masterpiece when it comes to audio, and it creates such immersion because of the work they put into the audio, with like how the steps work, how that works differently in grass or sand or with or without shoes.
There's so much work.
Yes, and I feel like it's just
so much thought.
It's very important. Audio is such an important aspect to video games that we don't really ever talk or think about.
No, because it's not just there.
Yeah, because it's not just like the music or like the theme music, but it's just the background music. It creates an ambiance. It creates a mood. It's not just like, it's with every sense we have, you know, the visual, the hearing, like that creates the immersion. So video game music is super important, and I'm very happy to have talked about that. And obviously we could only touch on a few great composers. If you guys want us to do another episode about composers and video game music and stuff, we'd be happy to do that. But you can only touch on so many.
Oh yeah, of course. And it takes time to actually talk about them as well.
Of course.
But if you have suggestions for good, like this video game song or this soundtrack is great, head over to our Instagram or our YouTube or our Discord. We have a music suggestion channel where you can talk about music only and like suggest good songs. It doesn't have to be movie or series or game music. It can be like songs or anything. But it would be really nice to hear what you guys listen to when it comes to this genre, or if you listen to it at all, if you think about it at all. I know that a few people in the Discord are music interested, are musicians, but it would be nice to just hear what other people listen to as well, because 100%. I don't get to talk about this to a lot of people. It's like you, my brother, perhaps. But that's pretty much it. So it would be nice to have a conversation about that.
Definitely. But thank you so much for this episode, Hilda. It was very interesting, and it was
thank you for bearing with me.
Like you said, like we were both a little bit off track today, very like up in our heads and stuff. So this was the perfect episode. Just kind of talk about music, kind of reflect on what that means to us, and just to the world of gaming and all of that. As always, you can find us on our Instagram at Prattle Potion, SoundCloud, YouTube as always, and also Discord now. You can find the link in the description or in the about on our YouTube channel.
Heck yeah.
And until next week, you guys, stay safe, stay happy.
Take care of yourselves.
Yes, and all that jazz. And we will see you guys next week.
We will.
Bye.